What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another ranking video. It's been a bit since I've done a ranking video, but this time we're going to be ranking all the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe original tracks. I'm not going to do the DLC tracks yet, but I will be doing them in the future. But I've never really ranked any of the base game tracks before, so that's what we're going to be doing today, just ranking all these Mario Kart 8 Deluxe base game tracks. I believe it's even out, actually, just laid out weird. Anyway, we'll just go by the order. First off, we have is the Animal Crossing track. Or based on, it's obviously based on Animal Crossing. This, depending on how, this changes the settings depending on when you play this track, obviously, like winter, summer, fall, and spring. And honestly, it has a lot of interesting stuff to this track, but otherwise, I don't know, it's just fine, honestly. Nothing too crazy, but it's alright. Probably put it in C tier. Next up we have is Baby Park. I am a Baby Park enjoyer, by the way, so there's your little hint. You just go around the track 7 times, like in Mario Kart Double Dash. I probably prefer Double Dash based on chaos alone, but this one's also chaotic with a lot of players. Mario Kart DS's version is mid as hell. I'll put this in A tier because Baby Park is good. Except for DS. Anyway, next up we have is Big Blue. This is a track, this is pretty much almost everyone's favorite track, and I'm gonna be honest, I think it's a bit overhyped. Yeah, I fucking said it. I don't know. It definitely has a lot going on, but I don't know. I don't think it's like the best track ever or anything like that. But S tier for sure. So there you go. I saved y'all. Next up we have is Bone Dry Dunes. Oh my god. I really don't like desert tracks at all, but oh god, this one is so boring to play on. I guess Dry Bones being there is nice, but damn. It's just so slow at times. Nothing really interesting in this one. F tier. Next up we have is Mario Kart 8's Bowser's Castle. This Bowser Castle is interesting. I don't think it's the best one ever or anything like that, but it has a lot going for it, honestly. Like a statue in the middle, you have lasers like Mario Bros. 3. Definitely a pretty interesting Bowser Castle. A tier. Next up we have is Cheep Cheep Beach. I love beach areas, and this one's a bit nostalgic for me, especially when I played Mario Kart DS. I honestly kind of like this one. I don't think it's that amazing, but it's a solid track. B tier. Next up we have is Cheeseland. I love cheese, and I love this place. I'm usually not big on any Mario Kart Super Circuit tracks, to be honest, because I don't really care for the game. But Cheeseland is one exception, and another one which we'll talk about later. There's a bunch of holes in the middle too. You gotta watch out. Overall, Cheeseland is great. A tier. Next up we have is Cloud Top Cruise. This is an airship-based area with a remixed Gusty Garden theme in here. Yes, Nintendo loves using that song, but I don't care. This track is amazing. I love Mario Galaxy, so this is easily an S tier. Alright, next up we have is DK Jungle. I made a video about the DK tracks, ranking all the DK tracks, and this is honestly one I have a lot of nostalgia for. I love Donkey Kong Country Returns, so this is easily... I see people put this like pretty low on the list, to be honest. I don't really get the hate, to be honest. A tier, don't care what anyone says. Not S, but A tier. I honestly love all the DK tracks, so yeah. I could put this in S for bias reasons, honestly, but what the heck, I don't care. Go ahead and get mad at me. Alright, next up we have is Dolphin Shallows. This is a track that's very interesting. You got the dolphins from Super Mario World. You're tricking off and going underwater. It's a very interesting track, to say the least. B tier, probably. Nothing too special. Next up we have is Donut Plains 3. F tier. I don't care, honestly. It does seem a little bit more interesting than the original, but that's not really a high bar. I don't really care about any SNES track outside of Koopa Beach and Ghost Valley and Bowser's Castle. So yeah. Next up we have is Dragon Driftway. This is a track I don't really get the appeal of, if I'm going to be honest. But I don't know. I think it's just fine. It is a Mario Galaxy based one because it got Gobble Gut from Galaxy 2. It's just a bunch of turning and stuff you gotta deal with. So maybe like A tier, I guess. I think it's fine. Maybe B tier, above B. How about that? Next up we have is Dry Dry Desert. To be honest, this is kind of a downgrade of the Double Dash version. Double Dash is more chaotic. That just makes it fun. This just feels a bit basic, honestly. I don't know. I just don't really feel anything. I don't feel any excitement from this one. D tier. Next up we have is Electrodrome, not Electrodome, but it's a music kind of track. It's just a banger track, in my opinion. I love this one a lot. S tier. Next up we have is Excite Bike Arena. I used to really love this track, but over time I'm not sure how I feel about it. It is a loop track, but you're mostly just tricking off most of the time. I think it's fine. It's not bad or anything. I think I put it in C, honestly. Next up we have is GBA Mario Circuit. Another Mario Circuit track came back. This is definitely more interesting compared to the original version, honestly. I really like the concept, to be honest, in this one. Not my favorite Mario Circuit, that goes to Wii, but it's fine. C tier. Next up we have is Grumble Volcano. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really get the hype for this one. I honestly think it's a bit overrated, but it's fine. Grumble Volcano is similar to the Wii version. Yeah, Volcano, gotta watch out for stuff. Probably B tier. I don't know. I think it's just a bit overrated. Not like that, but still, I don't know. I just don't really get the appeal of this track. Next up we have is Hyrule Circuit. I'm gonna have some real unpopular opinions here. This is probably a C tier, above C, honestly. Don't get me wrong, a Zelda-based course is great. I love the Zelda races, but there's really not much going on outside of just going in the castle, honestly. So, kind of just there, honestly. Next up is Ice Ice Outpost. This is one of those tracks that just exists. I mean, you get to take 2 paths, and then the ice background. Yeah, that's really all I can say. D tier. Next up we have is the original Mario Circuit for this game. Definitely a cool track visually, but when you compare it to other tracks, it's nothing too exciting, but I'll give it a B tier, to be honest. Next up we have is Mario Kart Stadium. Out of all the beginner tracks, this is the one I think shows off the most, besides, you know, most beginner tracks are not too crazy exciting, but this one's not too bad, honestly. I mean, it just shows you the whole point of Mario Kart 8, so yeah, definitely putting this in B tier. Next up we have is Moo Moo Meadows. This one is a classic one for sure. You got cows you gotta deal with, and overall the theming is pretty nice, honestly. Nothing exciting, but it's a cool track. B tier. Next up we have is Mount Wario, a Wario track. I don't know what my favorite Wario track is because all of them are so great, honestly. Maybe besides N64 Wario Stadium, but it's a huge long course going down a snowy mountain. This one's overall exciting. This might be my favorite Wario track. It's not my favorite track ever in the game, but it's easily in my top 5. S tier. Next up we have, wow, where did that come from? Next up we have is Music Park. This is a track brought back in Mario Kart 7. This is a classic one. I honestly love the theming in this one. Just going through the music notes and stuff. This is an A tier. Next up we have is Mute City. This is basically based on F-Zero, of course. It's pretty interesting F-Zero course in here. Definitely an A tier. It's mostly just speeding through, but Big Blue is only slightly better. Next up we have is N64 Rainbow Road. I didn't like the original too much. The original is just longer, slower stuff. This one just sort of ends quickly, so this is debatable, honestly. But I guess this is a classic track. The music just puts this as an A tier, honestly. So yeah. Next up we have is Neo Bowser City. This is a track I'm gonna get hate for this one, but C tier, to be honest. Oh god, my nose. Okay, yeah, Neo Bowser City isn't bad, honestly, but god, so much turning and stuff. I felt like I played this so many times. Every time I boot up Mario Kart 8 online. Just not that amazing, honestly. Next up we have is Complex Slide. This is a classic from Mario Kart 7. I really love this. I really love this one, honestly, so yeah, definitely putting this in A tier. Just Complex you gotta dodge, there's not much to say. Next up we have is Mario Kart 8's Rainbow Road. Not the worst thing ever, but it's just kind of there compared to other Rainbow Roads. It feels like a basic space station that you see in the Rainbow Road. But I guess, does this go in D tier? No, C. T's a bit too harsh. It's not that bad, but just not amazing either. Next up is Ribbon Road. Of all the GBA tracks came back, this is probably my personal favorite. I wish Skyguard was handled better. But, yeah, Ribbon Road is honestly a pretty nice track. faithful to the original. And I love the background, just inside the little playground. They're just mini Marios and stuff like that. A tier. My nose is not feeling great. Next up is Royal Raceway from Mario Kart 64. This is a downgrade because you can't go to Peach's Castle. God damn it! I'm joking, but it's a nice track. The music is really good. It's a pretty nice course. Probably B tier. Next up we have is Sherbet Land. I really like this one. I love the music in this one. Definitely doesn't feel as difficult compared to the original, but it's alright. B tier, probably. Next up we have is Shy Guy Falls, based on, you know, Shy Guys, of course. It's a waterfall-based course. It's a nice one, honestly. I really like the background, and I love Shy Guys, so A tier. Next up is SNES Rainbow Road. They love bringing back this Rainbow Road, but I honestly don't find it that bad. Probably on the same tier as the 8 version, but yeah, C tier. Alright, next up we have is Sunshine Airport, and just gonna say right now, this is my favorite track in the Mario Kart series. You go into an airport, and based on Sunshine references, this is by far my favorite track in Mario Kart 8. At least the original tracks. By far the best one in my opinion. Alright, next up, Super Bell Subway. Based on Super Mario 3D World, you're going through a subway. Man, my nose. I'm gonna blow my nose after this, I swear. But yeah, it's a nice subway-based course, honestly. I really like this one. Definitely putting this in S tier. Next up we have is Sweet Sweet Ken. I swear, the first thing that comes to my mind with this course is Wreck-It Ralph, Sugar Rush. When I first played this back then. I mean, it could be based on it, but it also can't. But anyway, Sweet Sweet Ken is just a bunch of sweets everywhere. It's a nice course. Nothing too exciting, but it's fine. Probably like C tier, honestly. Swamp Ruins. I'm gonna be honest, this track is just kind of there for me. Swamp's around. It's a nice area, but I don't know. I don't really feel excitement from this one. C tier. TikTok Clock. This is a classic from Mario Kart DS. A lot of people love this one, and that includes myself. Going through TikTok Clock from Mario 64. Honestly, just guess an S tier. It deserves this placement. Toad Harbor. I really was obsessed. Originally was my personal favorite, to be honest, but man, I love this track so much. It's just so damn good. This is a perfect track for Toad, honestly. Besides Toad Factory. Next up is Toad's Turnpike. This is a straight up downgrade. Say whatever you want about Mario Kart 64, but at least Toad's Turnpike adds level of challenge. This is just so basic, honestly. Probably put this in D tier, to be honest. Twisted Mansion, a haunted mansion area. It's a nice one. You're going through, ooh, spooky stuff, and then you have to tilt, and then it tilts at one point going underwater. It's a nice spooky mansion one. Next up, Wario Stadium. I honestly see this ranked pretty low, but I don't know, I kind of like it. I prefer Waluigi Pinball because it did use the same song, but I don't know, I really like Wario Stadium. It's just a nice, definitely nice course. Speaking of Wario, Wario's Gold Mine. This is, honestly, I'm not sure if I like this over the OG. I think the OG just adds a lot more challenge to it, but I don't know. Wario's Gold Mine is still goated, so A tier for sure. Next up is Water Park. I really see this one ranked so low, honestly, and I don't really get the hate for this one. Definitely putting this in above B tier, honestly. You're just going underwater in the water park. This reminds me of the times I actually go to the water park before I couldn't now. Next up, Wild Woods. I love this one a lot. This is a nice autumn. I like the background this one. It's pretty nice, honestly. So I think I'll put this in A tier, honestly. Yoshi's Circuit. Gonna be honest, I don't really love it as much as most people do, but it's fine. B tier, I guess. It's a track based on Yoshi. And last but not least is Yoshi Valley. Basically, choose different paths to go through. If you go through the same path, it's a bit boring, but otherwise, it's fine, actually. And that's all the Mario Kart 8 tracks ranked. My favorite is Sunshine Airport. My least favorite is Bone Dry Dunes. So yeah, that's all I can say. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. What's your favorite and least favorite track in Mario Kart 8? Original tracks, by the way. Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.